Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about the consequences of not cleansing and charging your crystals. Ooh. So basically, okay, so some of you might flip out and you'll be like, what do you mean the consequences? Okay, so let's start this video like this. So if someone does black magic with you, if you went into a very negative environment, if you got attacked by a dark entity, if something really bad was supposed to happen to you and you're wearing a crystal like black tourmaline, for example, I would like you guys to think about it like this. It was supposed to go to you, but it went to the crystal. Black tourmaline is an actual energetic sponge. It will absorb 100% of anything that's supposed to hit you, and once it hits maximum capacity, it's going to try to break. So a lot of you will tell me that, yeah, my black tourmaline, I had it and it broke and it shattered and it turned into a bunch of pieces. It used to be, and I have different pieces of tourmaline to show you. I don't have it on this video, but black tourmaline is supposed to be like this. I have black tourmaline everywhere, just everywhere lying around. This piece is very hard, but some of you will get black tourmaline and it's very chunky and very hard. I have like over 100 pounds of tourmaline just throughout my house. I keep getting more and 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 more because I know what it does and I see what it does, and it's the ultimate protection stone. So I'm going to keep collecting it more and more. So I'll get carvings and statues of it, and just even with necklaces, I'll put necklaces on furniture, and I'm just keep getting more and more black tourmaline because it's so powerful. But what happens when you have a piece of black tourmaline that you get it and you don't cleanse it and you don't charge it? Well, it starts to shake off. It like chips off, it shales. It's like, this stone used to have a really tough composition. You heard me slapping the stone, and now it crumbles because it's the stone killing itself. It's kind of like a suicide. It's like, okay, I'm holding too much negative energy. Let me return to the earth so it will break off and shatter. This will make a lot of sense for some of you. You're like, oh, that's why it broke. Well, how often are you supposed to cleanse and charge a crystal like black tourmaline? Every single day. You don't have to cleanse all of your crystals every single day, but black tourmaline is one of those crystals you should be cleansing and charging every single day. Because if you don't, no, you don't want to not cleanse black tourmaline. You don't want to not charge black tourmaline. Wow, it get absorbed. I mean, I'm just using black tourmaline as an example, but other crystals as well. So each crystal has its own specificity, or very specifics, I mean. Each crystal has its own specifics. So let's say if you're working with obsidian. Obsidian's the anti-shadow stone. It helps you really uncover shadows within yourself and helps you battle shadows within you. Now, you don't cleanse and charge it, and it's full. Now, the shadows that it has absorbed and it's ready to release, it's still in there. When you pick up the stone, you might get like a panic attack, or you might see wrists flipping out like, oh, there's so much energy. Like, oh, the obsidian's too much. I'm like, no, you just didn't cleanse and charge the obsidian. Keep in mind, let's say, this is another example using black tourmaline. You've had a horrible day one day, but it wasn't too horrible. Like, it seems like it went like a bad day, but it could have been worse. And like, it seems like something kind of helped the black tourmaline to stop that bad day. It really, your angels use the black tourmaline to suck the energy of what is bad into the stone so it doesn't get to you. So black tourmaline, for example, has a casting effect. So basically a barrier, casting a barrier effect, and a sponge effect. So anything that does get through the barrier, it's absorbed so it doesn't hit you. If it hits you, it'll really absorb it out of you into the stone. You've had a really bad day one day, and the next day you're like, okay. And you put on the same black tourmaline stone, even though maybe someone did some black magic with you, and you put it on. Yeah, you didn't cleanse the stone, and now it's starting to scratch and chip and chafe off, and it's like, what's wrong with this tourmaline? Like, what's going on? You didn't cleanse and charge, and it's just carrying negative energy. Unfortunately, guys, I have been seeing a lot of you not cleanse and charge your crystals correctly, and this video is going to make a lot of sense, because if you're wondering, well, when I first got the stone, it was doing a lot of help. I felt really good with the stone on. It was really helping me. Now the stone is not really doing much of anything, and I'm kind of having panic attacks or just anxiety when I put the stone. I'm like, well, how are you cleansing it? People are like, well, I sang to it and I danced with it in the backyard. I'm like, well, where did you learn that? And most people tell me I took a course with this person, or I saw something online and it said you can You can literally tell the bad energy in the stone to leave. I'm really sorry to tell you this, guys. You do have to get real. This is you're not going to tell EMF to not get into you just by just basically saying to the EMF, I don't claim your energy, EMF. Meanwhile, it's penetrating your cells and causing really, really bad effects. These crystals are a spiritual science, and I've been catching a lot of you not cleansing and charging your crystals correctly. I've had to make this video. I was gonna make this video about something else today, but wow, I'm seeing so many of you not cleanse and charge your crystals, and some of you have never actually really enjoyed the benefits of your crystal because it's been full since you've got it. How long does it take for a crystal to reset itself? More than 30 years, unfortunately. Most crystals do take, even because some of you will cleanse and charge, like, well, can I bury it in the backyard and like just sing to it and then will it be cleansed that way? Like, okay, how long did it take for the crystal to be made on the earth? A very long time. How long will it take for the crystal to be restored in the earth? A very long time. Burying it in the backyard doesn't work either. It's really disappointing to have to tell people, like, yeah, you've never actually enjoyed the benefits of your crystals at all. Like, you've not cleansed and charged it your whole entire life. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to actually help you. You need to cleanse and charge your crystals properly, or they won't do anything. Or they won't do anything as much. They'll be doing something very minor. And if it's a black crystal especially, it'll just be it'll be clutching onto the negative energy. You can use this to your advantage, because if someone's trying to do black magic and it hits a black tourmaline and it shapes off into like a powder, or it just breaks off from the chips, then now you can just send it back with using that powder or that chips. And there's very special and specific ways you can viciously send it back. I will teach it in another video because it's specific. But you can literally save the bookmark of the person from the start to the end of when they were doing the curse with you. So it makes it very easy just to send back. Even worse than they sent it, just eliminate them from sending it again. Yeah, that's just black tourmaline for an example. What about crystals like selenite? Because you guys will ask, do you have to cleanse and charge selenite? You do if you overwhelm it. Selenite, the way it works is it's like an energy prong. I have selenite in the background. It's like 100 strings that are just shredding apart negative energy. And the selenite is going to cleanse and charge a crystal, but keep in mind size matters. So a massive piece of selenite will cleanse and charge several crystals. If you have a tiny piece of selenite and a giant bunch of crystals, it's going to take a really long time. It'll take a few days, maybe a week. But if the crystals are bigger than, if the selenite is bigger than the crystals, then it's going to be 8 hours. It's going to be fully cleansed and charged. Now I do have to teach this right now because this just came across my mind. Cleansing a crystal is completely different than charging it. I've made videos about this before. When you cleanse a crystal, you're wiping what was on off. So anything that it was holding to not get to you, it's wiped off. When you charge it, you give it more energy to do its job. This is really confusing for people, and I get it, because the misinformation online is real. They have heavy misinformation, just like fluff. I don't know if it's, it has to be the enemies just trying to get people to not use crystals correctly, because it's so easy to not use a crystal correctly. So there's some exceptions to crystals, like diamond, for example. Diamond never needs cleansing and charging. I made a whole video about diamonds. It could be working for or against you, because diamonds amplify energy in either directions. They're massive amplifiers of energy. So people who wear diamonds all the time will either have extreme crazy success or extreme crazy just chaos. That's how it is. It's one of the master manifestation stones. It's a crystal of heaven. It's one of the many crystals of heaven, one of the most prominent ones, but make sure you're cleansing and charging your crystals. If you want to cleanse your crystal, you can use, I don't suggest sage because you guys don't know how to use sage properly. I'll make another video about how to use sage properly. Use Palo Santo. You can burn it very slowly so it lasts a very long time. You can use rosemary, cinnamon. You can use cedar, frankincense, and myrrh can cleanse cleanse a crystal, not charge it. You don't, no method of smoking anything on a crystal will cleanse it. Will charge it, because it can get confusing, because cleanse, charge, what is the, I thought I charged it when I cleansed it, and I thought I didn't cleanse it when I charged it. I do get it gets confusing. Guys, cleansing, you're wiping the charge off of it. Charging it, you're giving it more energy to do its job. Write that down. Write it down right now. Just write it down so you make sure you do it correctly. So Black tourmaline is the classic example. So you cleanse and charge black tourmaline, right? Okay, what are you doing? When you cleanse and charge black tourmaline, what you're doing is when you're cleansing it, you're wiping the charge off of it. You're basically, anything that was on it, you wipe off. It's banished, doesn't get to you. It's basically transmuted as completely different energy, and it's sent off into the astral realm. When you're charging it, you're giving it more energy to do its job. So black tourmaline, when you charge black tourmaline versus if you just cleanse it, then the charge is off. Now it's not charged, but it is cleansed. How do you charge it? I hope this doesn't get confusing for you guys. It's very easy. You cleanse and charge. It's cleanse, charge. Cleanse is whatever's on it, you get it off. Charge is you give it more energy to do its job. So you have black tourmaline, when you charge it, use selenite, it adds to the barrier effect of it. So now it acts as a barrier. I don't know why this is so difficult. Guys, just use selenite. It's so easy. You don't have to go outside. You can use the sunlight to cleanse crystals, but keep in mind, not all crystals like the sunlight. You can use the moonlight, but keep in mind, not all crystals react well to the moonlight, such as black tourmaline and moonlight. Black tourmaline's like, ha, you're too subtle for me. It's a reflection of the sun. It'll work just slowly. Black tourmaline's a very strong stone, so it prefers the sunlight. It's like, yes. Remember the color black versus the moon, reflection of the sun, it's white. Lower chakras, upper chakras, masculine, feminine, yin, yang. Really hope this video makes sense. Guys, cleanse and charge your crystals properly. I've seen some of the most, and I'm not making fun of you guys, I've seen some of the most just interesting ways that you guys have been cleansing and charging your crystals. Some of you guys hear about running water. How do you cleanse and charge a crystal using running water? Well, the frequency of the water has to be higher than the crystal to charge it on a scientific level. Yeah. How do you cleanse a crystal with running water? You leave it in a river, naturally occurring river, not a man-made river, and it has to be a fast running river. If it's slow, it'll take a lot longer. You have to know the frequency of the water and the waves. I mean, not the waves, the water in its torrent. It can charge the crystal, but not fully. It gets complex, but it's a very specific science. How do you charge a crystal with, because there's so many different viewpoints. I've seen you guys do so many different things. How do you charge a crystal with a singing bowl? Now the crystal, you can, I mean, it's very specific. You can use sound to program a crystal. This is very specific. This is an intricate video. This video is telling you guys you have to cleanse and charge your crystals, but I'm teaching you very advanced methods. So I remember when I went to a concert with black crystals on, and I left the concert. 3 days after I left the concert, whenever I touched the black crystal, it'd be zzz, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? My crystal's buzzing and it's vibrating. It's like, and after 3 days, it went away. Then I went to another concert or another music event, and then when they were playing the music, it held the frequency of the drums. I still have to study that science, but black does absorb. And the crystals like selenite would have to be used with like bells and very high frequencies. You can play a frequency next to it. I'll make a video about that in the future. It's very complex and complicated. I'm not in this video right now because this video is about cleansing and charging your crystals. Make sure you're doing it correctly or you're not using your crystals correctly. Can you wear just crystals as jewelry and not cleanse and charge them? No. If someone tries to buy a crystal necklace from me and they say, I'm not ever going to cleanse and charge it, well, I'll say to them, no, you can't have the necklace then. Because this is a spiritual armor, and you have to know exactly what it does, because you're gonna not know what's going on, and it's gonna be trying to help you, and things are gonna get hectic because you're not being aligned when it's trying to help you. But if you have any questions, ask them in the comment sections. I hope this video made it very clear. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!